Finding a good domain name, a good shop name, a good business name, a good name for social media, I feel like it's always been a little bit underrated as people always thought, oh, I'm going to find the right platform, or I have a good idea, or I have good designs. But the truth is, the name of a business matters a lot. The way you brand yourself, how the logo looks, which is, again, relating to the name, what kind of domain you're going to buy, how you're going to be on social media. And I feel like a lot of people have been struggling with this, thus placing it in a less important phase. But for me, the whole concept of finding a good name has been the beginning of projects rather than the middle, like a beginning of ideas, literally ideas that came out of their domain names. So I have many domain names. I have many, many domain names, and I've had even more throughout the last decade of my life that I've been doing work online. I've had multiple shop names on multiple platforms, multiple Pinterest accounts and Instagram accounts and Facebook groups and all kind of that. And if I just have to look at some of the things that I've had, I made a list down, like the Women Team, Fourthwall Art, Dinksy, Shop and Track, Design Your Bathroom, Creek Graphics, Maple Simple, Arroyo Prints, Dainty Mugs, Doggo Weekly. So many different domain names, including the projects that I'm working on right now. And I've always had this system of finding just the right domain name, just the right shop name for a marketplace, just the right business name and brand name. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. But before we do that, I kind of feel like I forgot something, which is, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mero and I teach creative people how to sell their art online. And today we're all about finding a business name, whether it's a business name for your Etsy store, for your Redbubble store, whether it's a business name for your blog, when in that case it's a domain for your Fourthwall shop, for multiple types of projects, and I hope that you guys will enjoy. In this video, I'm going to cover up multiple things. The first is the 6 basic sort of structures for a business name. The second is the 3 basic principles that I go by for a business name, and maybe it's a 3.5 because I have one that is like my thing. I don't know if anyone will agree. Basic no-nos when it comes to finding a domain name, as well as tools to help you find a good domain name. Tools that I'm using. I'm guessing there are a lot of tools out there. If at any point something resonates with you, or you have an advice on a big no-no from your experience, or an advice about a tool, feel free to comment it in the comment section down below. Let's start with the first category of things I want to cover today, which is the 6 basic structures for a domain name or a shop name. The first will be your name. I feel like it's dumb, but it's true. I own mayarroyo.com. And a lot of businesses can benefit from that kind of thing, whether you're a coach, whether you're an influencer of some kind, whether you're selling your own art or photography. And there is something very flexible about that, because let's say you want to start promoting some kind of like really cool digital acrylic art that you're doing for Society 6, and you get that name. But let's say later on you want to sell photography, you can still do that under the same name because you're basically the business. This is the recommended thing for artists and for YouTubers and for people who don't really know their niche yet. And I feel like a really good example for that would be YouTuber Catherine Manning. So Catherine Manning opened her YouTube channel many moons ago, and she was all about like social media, and then the videos that she made about how to succeed on YouTube picked up a lot. So she became the YouTuber for YouTubers, and I've been following her for that. And then she bought a house. She started renovating that house and literally turned the entire channel to renovating her house. She didn't have to have another channel. That's her name. That's her life. That's what she's into. And now she's finished the renovation with plus mommy blog after the fact that she did 9 months of pregnancy. So she basically changed her business multiple times under the same name, Catherine Manning, because that's her name and that is her brand. I even remember one time when someone commented on one of my videos, oh, this shouldn't be here. This is a channel about print on demand. And I was like, no, this channel is called May Arroyo, not May Arroyo Print on Demand. And if one day I'll decide to make a whole channel about my life in Bulgaria, then I will make it on the same channel. If I want to make Procreate, I will do it on the same channel, because this channel is my brand is me and what I'm into at the moment. It's why we don't have many Redbubble or sell printables on Etsy tutorials, when in fact this is how this channel started. The second name structure that I usually go for is your name and your purpose. And this could be a lot for artists or for photographers. For example, there's like Danielle Photography or all these kind of things. I even have, for example, a domain called Arroyo Prints, because it's Prince and my last name is Arroyo. I even had a domain, and I think I still do, called Creek Graphics. So this was about graphic designs and custom illustrations, and Creek is Arroyo in Spanish. Like Arroyo in Spanish means creek. So it was kind of falling into my name and my last name. I know a lot of people go with initials So MMA graphics. I feel like this is in some sort of way also relates to Maytribe. So maytribe.com is my website for this channel, not Mayoyo. And I feel like it does incorporate this kind of name and purpose because the purpose is community and my name on it. And for those of you who don't know, funny story about that domain or that name, I didn't come up with Maytribe. It's the name of our Facebook group. It's the name of the website where I'm selling digital files and we have all the resources and freebies and discounts. But I didn't come up with Maytribe. I bought maytribe.com, but I didn't come up with it. I don't know if this is interesting to anyone, but when I first started the channel, my first collaborator was Creative Fabrica. I was working with Linnea back then. Creative Fabrica, I think we're like 7 people back then. Oh my God, I'm almost on YouTube for 3 years. In any case, I got this like landing page for the deal for the viewers of the channel, and it said to the Maytribe. Like the discount is to the Maytribe. And I looked at it and I was like, what? And then Lina said she thinks she saw some people comment that, like this tribal feeling, like we're all in together, this community feeling. And then she took it from that. So in fact, I have no idea why my business or domain name is called that because we don't know who started it. That's just a fun fact. In any case, third method to find your domain name, shop name, whatever. Nickname or quirky sentence. With that, I'm going to give you an example to explain myself. I had a domain, I don't remember when. It was, I think, 2018. I had a blog about how to start selling things online, how to make money using Fiverr, how to be a freelancer, stuff like that. And it was called Maple Simple. Because of my name, May, someone sort of started calling me Maple. We were really close friends at the time. And Maple Simple kind of sounded like Make It Simple. And I remember coming up with it because one of my clients, because I was working privately with Etsy sellers back then, someone said, you always make it so simple. And then my friend called me Maple. And instinctively, I'm like, Maple Simple. It just came up. So that's also kind of thing, like something quirky that plays like a word play with your nickname, something that sounds like something. That can also be a really cool way to find a domain name. Next, we have a domain name or a shop name that is SEO or information based. Basically, someone can look at the domain name and know what it's about. For example, kawaiiPhoneCases.com is a website for kawaii phone cases. Designyourbathroom.com is a website for people to go in and find something to design their bathroom. These are also words for SEO. And looking at that, and last year, I also have the domain Self-Love Journaling. And I don't have to tell you that self-love journaling is something that people search on Google. And not only that, I don't think that anyone would look at the domain and not understand that this is about journaling for self-love. I also have on that kind of standard pdfcoloring.com, which is for printable coloring pages. And even if I look at, for example, the company that does my invoices, they're called Green Invoice. And maybe that's not very SEO based, but it is info based because this is one of the first companies that grew in Israel for making your invoices not physical. So green invoices because they're green, like they don't use any kind of paper. And SEO info based names is really one of my favorite approaches, and it's really easy to come up with. And I feel like a lot of people don't really appreciate it that enough. I mean, if I wanted to sell paintings or merch for people who like puzzles, I might just go with Puzzle Lover merch or Puzzle Lover gifts or something like that. These can also be really cool names for your business, whether self-love journaling can be like a content creator or Jigsaw Lover gifts is some kind of shop or blog magazine kind of style. And speaking of online magazines, that's the next step of how to find a good domain name. For online magazines, I would go with a niche and the word. So, for example, there are certain words that we are wired to view as magazines, like weekly, or daily, or times, or mag, or insider, or spot, or arena, or news. So a few examples for that I wrote. Sorry for always looking down. I'm literally, there was no way I'm going to remember all this information. One of the recent domains that I got is called Boho Insider. It's a blog about boho home decor. The thing is that when I was thinking about doing it, I wasn't really sure if I want to do boho home decor or boho style in general, because boho style can also be like clothes and bags and accessories. So Boho Insider, because it's a magazine about everything relating to the boho style. And if I decide to only make it about bags and fashion, I can. If I'll decide to only make it about home decor, I can. If I decide to make it about all of it, I can. It's some kind of news publication about bohemian style. There is also the Israeli news website called Ynet. So net is a good name for anything that is online, and Y is from Yediot Achronot, which Yediot Achronot is a newspaper. So when they decided to move on to online, they took the Y from Yediot Achronot and the net. So again, it's a word or a letter in that case, and another word added to it. I also had the domain Doggo Weekly, which is a blog for dog lovers. There's so many other domains and names that I can come up with. We actually have a news website in Bulgaria called frognews.pg. I do not know why the frog, I'm not Bulgarian, so maybe it has a certain meaning, but frognews.bg tells me that this is a Bulgarian website about news. So if you do want to come up with something that is for a blog, a publication, and you want to make it more like a magazine style, I really recommend this. Again, the words daily, weekly, mug, times, insider, spot, arena, news, and all these lovely words. Now, for shops, specifically for shops, even though I can have a shop called Boho Insider, but it's a magazine name, for shops, I would go with something a little bit different. So find a word or a phrase that really resonates with the people, with the niche, with the audience of what you're doing. Of course, you can still call your shop Kawaii Phone Cases because it's an SEO info based one and it's selling Kawaii phone cases. But if you're looking for other ideas, for example, we have a viewer of the channel who called her business Ice Queen Style, and this is everything for ice skaters. Ice Queen Style. Style is because it's mostly fashion. Ice Queen because she's on the ice. I think you get my gist. Now, my personal shop with Fourthwall is called Bidvaro Shop. For those of you who don't know, it's for Jewish merch, and Bidvaro is actually a blessing. So I don't have to write Jewish merch on my name of the shop because anyone who's Jewish is going to recognize that word. It's literally a part of one of our most common prayers for when we drink water. Yes, Jews pray for drinking water. I don't know how to explain this, but this name for someone within the niche is pretty self-explanatory. Pretty self-explanatory. And I sort of took that name and changed it across the board. So Bidvaro Shop is the name of the shop, Bidvaro is the name of the blog, and Bidvaro May is my profile on Instagram. There are plenty of other examples that I can come up with, but I really do also want to let you guys think about these things. But again, find a word or phrase that resonate with your audience. It's all there is to it when it comes to something really niche down. I should really buy the dining room table as mine for jigsaw lovers. Another method is to create a brand new word. I actually had a domain called Healthia. It's a blog about being healthy. Oh wow, that was like such an old project. I think I had it in like 2015. I'm not even sure. I also had a domain called Highlight 77. It was a blog where I featured different artists from around the world. A lot of them were from Thailand. I was living in Thailand back then. I thought it would be nice to highlight artists. I don't know how I came up with that word. And at the time, I lived in Sukhumvit 77 in Bangkok, so I called it Highlight 77. It was actually really cool because a lot of people don't understand where this is coming from, and it becomes some kind of this like brand in your head, the same way that we have Bored Panda, which the panda is completely irrelevant, or 9gag. Is 9gag still a thing? I feel so old now saying it. Another made-up word that I came up with was Dinksy. For those of you who don't know, this was actually the name of my baby blog and the name of my first Redbubble store ever. And Dinksy is not about a baby, but it's a very short name, and it's cute. I don't know how I came up with it, but it's a made-up word. Another made up word, which is literally my business. For those of you who don't know, I'm a freelancer and the name of my business is Quinja. When I was, I feel like I'm sharing a lot more of my past than I thought I would in this kind of video. But when I was a bartender slash DJ in Elat, my nickname was Ninja. People would literally call me Ninja. It became my nickname so much to the point where my closest friend back then introduced me to her boyfriend, and she was like, "Meet, this is Ninja." And I looked at her and I was like, "What's my name?" And she looked at me, and it took her a few minutes to realize what my name is because everybody called me Ninja. And in 2015, my back got worse. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I opened my own business. I think it was a little bit before the diagnosis, and I didn't know what to call it. And I was on the phone with the accountant, I think, back then. And a friend of mine passed by, and he was like, "I don't understand why you think you can't name your business. It's a Ninja. Like, you're Ninja. Everybody knows that." And then I fell into this, like, I'm not ninja anymore. I'm not doing backflips off the bar and drinking until 4 in the morning while I DJ. No, kidding, 6 in the morning. And it didn't feel like it resonated with me anymore. And then I told him all I do is like sit these days. He said, so maybe you're the queen of ninjas. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you're just going to sit and tell all the other ninjas what to do. And then it kind of came to me like, Quinja, the queen of ninjas. I never thought how cool that was. I should really call that friend and tell him thank you for that thing. But the thing is that this is a complete made up word, a complete made up word. And also, when it comes to these made up words, you can also find a word in a different language. One of my first Etsy stores that I've ever set up, I was actually doing some handcrafts myself. I was sewing my own bags. I had a beautiful collection. I donated most of it before I left Israel. But I had a beautiful collection of handmade bags and zip pouches and crossbody bags. And I wanted to find a name for that. And so I called it Tanoimu. Tanoimu, it means handmade in Thai, because Thailand was always close to my heart. So in English, it sounds like a cool made up word, Tanoimu, but there is a story behind that word, which means handmade, because I was selling handmade stuff. By the way, if you like this video so far, please feel free to hit the like button down below, because every time you do that, YouTube thinks, hey, this is a really cool video. I'm going to show it to more people, and subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed. I would like to move on to the 3 basic principles for finding a domain name. And these are not different than these 6 methods, but they kind of coexist. So I hope you follow up with me. The first basic method is to be readable and memorable. If you're going to call your domain name with something that if I tell you, you're not going to know how to write, it's going to be really hard to follow through. People need to remember how to write this, how to spell this. Obviously, this can be like really hard with names. I feel like whenever I go to YouTube, I type in Aurelius to Jin and I always type it wrong, but YouTube knows what I'm talking about. But it's really important for it to be readable and memorable. So Dinksy, I feel like people can remember. Bidvaroshop, any Jewish person will remember that name. Quinja, a lot of people remember it after they hear the interpretation of the word. Maytribe, I don't think anyone doesn't remember the name. So I feel like in a lot of cases, you really do have to have a readable and memorable name. Don't make the name too long. I've seen people like even design your bathroom for me is kind of a stretch. But don't make your name too long. Don't over-explain everything. If you feel like you have to over-explain everything, just make up a word. Seriously, just make up a word. Don't make the spelling so difficult. Like, for example, if you have like 2 words in that domain name and one of them ends with double L and the other one begins with an L, it's going to be very, very, like Adorable Llama. One of them ends with an L and the other one starts with 2 L's. People are going to wonder if they need to use 2 L's or 1 L or 3 L's. I want that domain now, Adorable Llama. Oh man, no. Every time I make a video, I want to buy stuff. Don't make it too long, and again, avoid these repetitive words. So for example, process success. I would not choose that as a domain name. I do want it to be readable and memorable, and at the same time, I want people to be able to like think about it or come up with it. So you can actually use some kind of grammar mistake. For example, cools with a Z or cows with a Z, as long as the logo sort of embodies that Z, so it kind of goes into people's minds that there is going to be a grammar mistake in it. Another thing that you guys really need to do, and I don't know if you need, but I think you need, so you can do whatever you want, it's a free world, is to check the name that you want to have for your business across the board. And this goes from domain to social media and also vice versa. For example, if you're starting an Etsy store and you think that maybe one day you want to grow, maybe before you name that Etsy store and all of the social media, you need to check if the domain is available. And also, if you want to get a domain and it's really cool and you find a really cool domain name, how annoying would it be if Pinterest or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever is going to be taken for that domain name? So I really recommend you make a list of everything you want to do now. So for example, I want to have a Redbubble store. Why would I want to have I want to have a Zazzle store and I wanted to advertise it on Instagram or Pinterest. But when I'm looking into starting this, I'm also going to think, okay, I might want to expand to a domain name and I might want to expand to TikTok or to whatever. So check all of these. And if you need to, buy a domain in advance, because some people are pieces of poo-poo that do that for you. I literally know people that what they do is they search online for brand names or people's names that start to get a bit of friction, like people who started an influencer business, like to become an Instagram influencer or some kind of fitness coach, and they literally go and they buy a domain with a person's name. because that person is going to want to have that domain when they finally like want to expand, and they make a lot of money reselling domains. So really check if that name is available in multiple places to make sure that you can actually create a brand that is consistent. The third thing that I find to be sort of this deal breaker, or the basic principles for a business name, is if you can see yourself making a logo for it. If you make up a name and you literally don't know how to design it, maybe choose a different name. I don't know how to explain it because, again, the name, the way it sounds, the way I read it as a viewer, plus the logo that I'm seeing, that creates the whole thing. Whether the logo is very complex or whether the logo is just simply the word written in a really nice font. I did say at the beginning that there will be the 3 basic principles plus one that I do that is kind of half a principle or funny. So here's something that you might not know of. Let's say that today I uploaded a new bundle to Maytribe. I will write it in my journal or planner as uploaded a new bundle to MT. Maytribe. One of my biggest projects, the womenteam.com, was TWT. Highlight 77 was H77. BH is for Bow Insider. And my new projects that you're going to be discovering in the beginning of the year is TOTD. And I never come up with a name that I don't like the initials for it. I don't know if it's something like weird or normal, but a business name is going to be a part of my life. I use initials when I write things down. And for example, I'm never going to call a business, I should have written that example down. I can't find it. For example, I'm never going to call a business Scary Short because the initials for that are SS. And I don't like those initials. I will, however, be very happy if I find something with the initials of MEY, because it's May. And I feel like maybe it's also something a little bit spiritual, or kind of like, I don't know, you believe in I don't know, superstitious or something like that, but that's my thing. The initials things. Does anyone else do that? Do you write your initials, like the initials of the project when you're working on something? I would really love to know. Now, before I get to the tools that I'm using to find a good domain name, I would like to go over a list of no-nos. So this is now the perfect time to say that TWT, the women team, was the worst domain name I've ever had. I was starting this blog. I had a few other bloggers who were going to guest post on that, and it was kind of like a shopping magazine for women, and I thought it was going to be cool, like the women team, because there were also going to be articles about health and stuff, and we are a team of women starting this. But what I did not see coming is Google. Because and this is the domain that was hacked in GoDaddy, in the big GoDaddy breach, and I lost 6 years of my life and 2,500 posts, but never mind. But even at the height of the domain and the blog getting the majority of traffic, and the fact that I had really strong social channels for it and everything, you couldn't find it on Google. If you went to Google and typed in the women team, you would find information about sports teams for women in your area. This was the biggest SEO mistake I've ever made, calling a domain the women team. Seriously. The second thing I want you to notice with the no-nos is, are you allowed to use that domain? And I know, for example, people who started a business called like Etsy Treasures, or like things I found on Etsy.com, and then they realized they can't actually be an Etsy affiliate because Etsy doesn't allow you to use their brand name within your domain name. You cannot use these things within your domain name. So I feel like a lot of affiliate marketers make that mistake. Maybe not print on demand people, but definitely affiliate marketers. And it's actually a story that I know because I have a friend of mine who named his domain Amazon Deals. Yep, Amazon Deals. And he was an Amazon affiliate. They were withholding $8,000 commission. Obviously, people look at the name Amazon Deals and they think it's about Amazon. They also started a lawsuit against him for impersonating Amazon, which he later on evaded by saying Amazon in Hebrew means the food. So it's about the food deals. They can't really disprove it. They didn't pay him his money, but the lawsuit was dropped. And this is insane because it's, again, a violation of terms. So make sure you're not putting the name of the business that is a different business within your domain names. Now, tools to help you find a good domain name. I have mostly used 3 tools in my life to find domain names. the Uber Suggest SEO tool, which I don't know if I made a video about that. I think I made a video about that when it went with like the SEO for Dummies video. So I use Uber Suggest to do some SEO research, and if I find some kind of phrases that relate to my niche, I check the domain for them, and then subsequently check that domain name, if it's available on Instagram and other social platforms. I also use I never know how to call it, Thesaurus. Again, a name I don't know how, if it's Thesaurus or the Thesaurus.com. It's a website to find synonyms. And it's really cool because you can type in and write like an arena or news or art and stuff like that, and it will come up with synonyms. And I really like doing it. I used to like also do it like on a piece of paper, like, you know, with the sun diagram and stuff like that. So I think it's called Tag Cloud. I don't know why I said sun diagram. So Tag Cloud. So that one was also very helpful for me. But now we actually have AI tools to do that, and that basically do these things for you. And for that, I would like to take you to my computer, where I want to show you two tools that I'm using. One is Namelix and the other one is literally Hostinger, because when you go to Hostinger to find a domain name, well, you actually have an AI to do that for you. Let's go to my computer, and how do I do that? Wait. This is Namelix, and quickly I'm going to show you how to find a domain name or find a shop name or a business name or whatever. I need to enter keywords. So for example, let's say I have that cow project that I was showing in the tutorial for Fourthwall. So let's go with cows, cow lovers, cow lover gifts, cow prints on clothes. These are my keywords. And then I have to choose if I want branded names, like if I want something like Google, Rolex, like just a name, non-English words, alternative spelling, compound words, evocation. We also have short phrases, real words. I'm going to go with all styles. That's kind of nice. And next. Now, the randomness of this, I'm going to keep it on medium, like what they suggest. And brand info, a website. No. A community, no, a shop with clothes that have cow prints on them, as well as stickers and mugs with kawaii cow illustrations and cute cow puns. Now, I can also mark this if I want them to tell me if the domain is available. So yeah, check domain and generate. Looking up similar words. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, everything that has a V on it here means that this domain is available as a domain. So we have Meowmoo. Okay, that would be like cats and cows together. Yummy Moo. Moo Moo. What is that one? Cowvana. And one thing that I do have to say that I like about this is that we get the visualization of how this looks like some kind of logo idea for this. Some of the ones that have domain available is bovine abodes. I don't know why. Kawaimu. Kawaimu. Yeah, if I'm selling just the kawaii stuff for the cows, Kawaimu would work. Pipe cows, I'm not sure. Milky cows. This is already a domain registered. However, if a domain is registered, that doesn't mean I can get milkycows.co or milkycows.shop. It means that the .com, I think, is taken. Mainly moo domain available. And this is how you do it. This is one of the tools that I'm using. It's actually pretty good. It's giving you like a lot of ideas. Gangsta cows. Ready to moo. And obviously it's only checking for domain. It's not checking for, social media. So you have to check that out yourselves. I'm just going to show you quickly how to do that. So we have cow pops. Let's find something that I want to check. Oh, it's cow. It's cow. Maybe it's better than cows. Girlicious cow. Miku moo. Mumu Kuai. Okay, Mumu Kuai. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right here. How do they write Mumu? Okay. Mumu Kuai. I'm going to select all of it and copy it. Obviously, if I type in .com, I'm going to see nothing. Then I'm going to go to instagram.com/Mumu Kuai. Nothing. If the page cannot be found, it means there is nothing there. And I'm going to go to pinterest.com. Mumukuai. Nothing. He has ideas for me. That means there is nothing. And I can also check YouTube, by the way, if I want. So if I'm going to go to YouTube and search Mumukuai, I'm going to go to search for channels. I have Momokuai. I do not see Mumukuai. And this is something that you're going to do based on the social platforms that you want. Let's go to Etsy, for example. Just for Etsy, I'm going to click on something. These rings, for example, just to get the layout. So this is the layout for a shop. I'm going to delete. I don't know why it keeps sending me like Israeli. Etsy. I haven't been in Israel in 2.5 years. Shop. Okay, so etsy.com/shop/mumukawaii. Nothing. That's how I know that this is available. Let's go to Redbubble. So people. So redbubble.com/people/mumukawaii. Nothing. And this is how you check it. So this is Namelix, and whatever you want to do about it, again, create your own name based on keywords and based on a description of your name. But I can also use Hostinger for that. So let's just go to domains, and you see generate domain using AI. And I think, let me see if I can try to find it from here. Yeah. Let's write a description. This is a description, no keywords. So a shop with clothes that have cow prints on them, the same thing. Generate. It was really nice to see like that generated with AI just showing up. Okay, so we have kawaiicowclothes.com, cowfashionshop.com, cutecowstickers.com, and I think like cute cow stickers would actually be really good when it comes to SEO, because cute cow stickers is something that people who want cute cow stickers literally look for. So that would fall into that category. You have cow puns shop, cow print shop. So it's a lot of the things that people are already searching for. I can see more options here, and I can only see the .com ones available here. We also have recommendations from most popular domains. So for example, the cow, the cloud, the shop, the IO, these are like the endings for this one. I do recommend using .com for most cases. IO is mostly for tech and developers. Some people use shop. I feel like a lot of like the buyers that you might come across will not know the difference. Like they will automatically put .com, or .info can work if you do anything relating to information. And of course, they also have their own how to how to how to make like your own domain name, or how to phrase it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Hostinger also has now an AI to find your own domain. And we're back to me, and I hope that you like this little side note with the AI tools. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts about this. And also for those of you who want to start their own website business with Hostinger, there is a link down below to get your hosting package with a free domain name for 10% less than what it costs other people. I actually have a call with Hostinger in the next few days. I think we're starting to work a little bit more together. Actually sort of going over what kind of advertisers I'm working with in 2024. I'm really narrowing down the list. What that means in terms of the tools I'm using, and for the channel, you'll find out in 2024. Now, I really want to hear your thoughts about this. I mean, even if I'm not like commenting back to a lot of the comments, I am looking into them, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this whole thing. What kind of method resonated the most with you? What are the tools that you guys are using? Did you know about Namelix or Hostinger AI for domains? And are you crazy like me and do initials for your business names? I would really love to know that I'm not the only one that does that. In any case, one last thing before I go. I feel like it's been a crazy week and a half, 2 weeks since the Fourthwall video. Oh my god, it's been 2 weeks since the Fourthwall video. You guys are absolutely insane in the good way. There have been over 500 signups to Fourthwall in the first few days. Why am I not able to say this sentence? There have been over 500 signups to Fourthwall in the first few days after that video. You guys are insane. I did have a follow-up conversation with Vincent. I feel like I'm seeing him once a month, and we did talk about a lot of your questions, because a lot of people have asked the same questions, and there will be a Fourthwall Q&A video. Now, I do want to say this because I wanted to do a marketing and niche video, but I realized that a lot of the people who have a question about Fourthwall is about the marketing or the niche. And a lot of the marketing questions sort of became like how to market this specific store or something. And I want to make these videos as I don't know, broad as possible in terms of audience. And I feel like a lot of the marketing questions that you asked for the fourth wall video, for the fourth wall Q&A, are actually general marketing questions that everyone can benefit from them, not just fourth wall. So there will be two videos as planned, the fourth wall Q&A and a marketing niche Q&A. And I might take some of the questions that you gave me for the fourth wall video because they relate to marketing and niching down, and place them in the marketing and niching down video so everyone can learn about everything. And also because if I take all your marketing questions into the fourth wall video, the fourth wall video is going to be 5 hours long, and I can't do that to myself. I can't do that to you guys. So I hope that you guys are okay with that. Those would probably be the 2-3 following videos in the next few days. For those of you who don't know what fourth wall is, and I've been kind of bambling about them in the last few seconds, fourth wall is a really, really cool tool to sell print on demand online, as well as digital downloads, memberships, and things that you have that are handmade. There was a video introducing them 2 weeks ago that created this huge buzz. They are currently still free to join, which will change in 2024. And if you don't know what they are, I recommend you watch that video next. And of course, if you have any questions, answers are coming in the next few days. But with that being said, that was it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. And as usual, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!